Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans, and welcome to my new show, Greg and his friends talk sports. 10 to 20 minutes every day, sometime between 12:01 a.m. and 6 p.m. I'm talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about here on Greg and his friends talk sports. Coming up, Super Bowl 60 is set, and the postseason paths have been announced in girls basketball. We have Grant Shouse's reaction on the girls basketball sectional draw, with emphasis on the 2A sectionals at Lapel, Wapahani, and Wabash. And the Pacers are playing in just a couple of minutes now. Anticipated weather has moved the game up 6 hours to 1:30 in the afternoon in Atlanta on Monday. Our friend John Robertson and his daughter are actually at the game in Atlanta. Made the drive down to go to the game on Monday night, not Monday afternoon, but they are already there and going to be in attendance at the game today. Thanks for joining me and my friends. We will be back tomorrow and the next day, and the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and so on. It'll be the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California. Could be a great game, but honestly, I'm a fan of the NFL, and I know about 8 players between these two teams. The Seahawks made all the big plays that they needed to and beat the Rams 31-27. The Patriots took advantage of Jarrett Stidham and about 12 feet of snow that all fell during the game and left Denver with a 10-7 victory. Drake May's 6-yard run was the only score. He also had a beautiful pass on the game-clinching drive and a first down run that ended it. He is going to be a good one. Good enough to beat Seattle this year. I don't know. Seattle opens as a 4.5-point favorite. My initial thought is that the Seahawks are going to win this game by more than a touchdown, but is Sam Darnold really going to be the Super Bowl champion? My friend Will Rutherford will be along Monday with his thoughts on the conference championship games and the Seahawks Patriots for the Lombardi. His podcast, Strictly Biased, will be out midday Monday. And I thought it was really cool seeing an IndyCar commercial during the NFC Championship game on Fox. Good to see Fox is taking IndyCar seriously. Purdue's women snapped a 13-game losing streak to rival Indiana with an 80-69 victory Sunday afternoon. The Boilermakers went 11 for 22 from behind the three-point arc. Hilla Karsh was 4 for 5 and scored 12 points. Nia Smith was 3 for 5 from deep and led Purdue with 13. In fact, Purdue had 7 players with at least 8 points and got 35 points from its bench. Shea Chesky was 11 for 18 from the field and 10 for 11 at the foul line and had a game-high 37 for the Hoosiers. Around Indiana in women's basketball, Butler lost 64-60 to Marquette at home. Evansville with a win at Northern Iowa 68-65. The Aces' 5th win and 2nd road win of the season. And Notre Dame fell to 13-7 with a 65-58 loss to Clemson. Both men's games scheduled for Sunday were postponed. Purdue Fort Wayne at IU Indy in the Horizon, and Southern Illinois at Evansville in the Missouri Valley. Haven't heard a makeup date for either one yet. In the Big Ten, Washington beat Oregon 72-57, and USC won at Wisconsin 73-71 behind 29 points from Chad Baker Mazzara, who's older than half of the Central Indiana Sports Report's contributors. AP and coaches polls are out on Monday. It'll be interesting to see where the writers and coaches have Purdue ranked after losses to UCLA and Illinois. The IHSAA had its girls basketball sectional draw on Sunday night. Here are some notes from our local sectionals. Sectional 7 at McCutcheon. It's 11-11 Kokomo against 8-13 Harrison. And 17-4 Jeff against host and defending champion McCutcheon in the semifinals. That sectional won't begin until Friday, February 6th. The Mavericks beat the Broncos twice this year. Sectional 8 at Carmel. Hamilton Southeastern is the defending champion and the favorite. But they open with Westfield, one of a few who could definitely contend for that sectional against the Royals. Sectional 9 at Pendleton Heights. 17-3 Pendleton is the defending champion and the heavy favorite, and opens with 11-9 Mount Vernon in next Tuesday's quarterfinals. In Class 3A, defending state champion Norwell is no longer in sectional 22 at Mississinawa. Now 17-2 Belmont is the favorite, and they drew a first-round bye. 11-11 Marion starts with 2-18 New Haven, and 4-15 Mississinawa takes on 6-12 Heritage. Mechanical is the defending champion and a significant favorite at Western. They start with 7-14 West Lafayette at 7:30 on Wednesday the 4th. It's Western Twin Lakes, Northwestern Peru on Tuesday. 1-19 Logansport got the bye. At Yorktown in Class 3A, 15-6 Connorsville looks like the favorite, but has a tough opener on Tuesday against 14-6 Hamilton Heights. 15-7 and defending champion Delta and 9-10 Yorktown drew first-round byes in the 6-team sectional. In Class 2A, where most of the teams in our immediate area reside, at Wabash, 18-3 and defending champion Lewis Cass and 18-2 Oak Hill both drew first-round byes and will not see each other until the championship game. 10-10 Rochester and 12-8 Manchester will be a good one in the opener, and the winner of that one will take on Cass. Lapel is a huge favorite at Lapel. However, the Bulldogs drew defending champion Sheridan in the second game on Tuesday the 3rd. Elwood and Frankton will play each other on Thursday night this week, and then again next Tuesday in the first round at Lapel. Defending champion and 18-3 Alexandria should win the sectional at Wapahani. They drew a first-round bye and will face either 8-9 Burris or 3-18 Madison Grant in the semifinals. 3-19 Taylor will face either Lapel or Sheridan in the semifinals. And in Class A, sectional 54 at Bethesda Christian, defending champion and 14-6 Carroll and 20-1 Rossville are on opposite sides of the bracket. Rossville gets 15-5 Clinton Central in the sectional opener. The Hornets beat the Bulldogs 56-38 on Saturday. Wide open 8-team sectional at Southern Wells. Tuesday it's 11-10 Tri-Central against 14-6 Northfield. And 12-8 and defending champion North Miami against 14-5 Daleville. North Miami beat Daleville 47-41 to win the sectional last year. On Wednesday it's 11-7 Southwood against 2-16 Westdale. And 12-7 Southern Wells against 4-13 Cowan. Grant Shouse has seen about all of these teams calling games for the Action Sports Network. Here he is with his thoughts, particularly on the Class 2A sectionals.
Well, sorry to everybody else, but Grant and I are going to spend most of our time talking about Class 2A because most of the teams we're most intimate with are in sectionals 38, 39, and 40. And Grant, you're going to spend most of your time at Wapahani, you think, calling those games for the Action Sports Network. Let's start there. Alexandria, big favorite, gets a first-round bye.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, theirs to lose in a way. And I hate saying that because I really like what Griffin's doing at Eastbrook right now. Her team, since the start of January, has won 6 out of their last 9 games. They're playing really good basketball right now. They're at Eastbrook, which is Alexandria is a different animal, man. Coming up on Thursday, they're going to take on Oak Hill for the CIC championship over at Alexandria. I'll actually be on the call for that game. I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a nice tune-up game, a nice test for Alexandria going into the tournament. And it's for some hardware. You know, it's for the conference championship on Thursday night with Oak Hill. So I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for that sectional as Alexandria I think they're kind of a year ahead of schedule. They have Layla Dietzer, who's coming in from Frankton, who's Coach Hosier's niece. She's a really good player. She's the engine of their offense. She makes them go. And when she's on the floor, they're a much better team. And then you add the addition of Grace Wood, who's a sophomore who comes in from Madison Grant, one of their better female athletes. And softball,
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah, softball, basketball, and volleyball. So she's been a real nice addition to that team. And I really like Alexandria to win that one, but I like Eastbrook to get to the championship game and try and give them a battle to cut down the nets.
Speaking of Oak Hill, they are at Wabash, and this sectional almost certainly going to come down to Cass and Oak Hill. Both draw a first-round bye, and they will probably see each other in the championship game. Of course, Cass, the reigning champion, Oak Hill beat the Kings by 17 points earlier this year.
I am really, really glad that both those teams are on opposite sides of the bracket. it's set up for both teams to not necessarily have an easy game, although I think Oak Hill is definitely going to be way more favored than what Lewis Cass would be against Rochester, Manchester. Cass will still be favored, and I still think they'll win, but Oak Hill's path against either Wabash or Eastern is definitely going to be better than Lewis's. Both teams are really good, and they're both great defensively. And that's the same with that Alexandria team who we just talked about, where Oak Hill and Alexandria, when they play, it's the first to 35. Well, it's kind of the same thing with Oak Hill and Lewis Cass, but in this case, I think it's the first to 25. I think that's how good defensively both of them are. Oak Hill's number one in the state in defensive average and points per game allowed, and they're very well coached. And the emergence of Brianna Daly, who is a big girl inside, pair her with Morgan Cates. They're twin towers underneath, both 6 foot, 6'1" respectively. And then the guards they have around them with Landry Hardman and Lily Edwards is a great three-point shooter. Cora Pond is a nice little point guard for Oak Hill. They are a really, really well-rounded team. And get this, Greg, they have only 2 seniors on that roster, Lily Edwards, Stella Sharon at Oak Hill. Lily Edwards starts, Stella Sharon comes off the bench. They're going to be just as good next year.
And sectional 39 at Lapel. The Lapel Bulldogs are the favorites. They're 18-4. The obstacle in their way is defending champion Sheridan. Lapel beat Sheridan earlier in the year, but they open up with each other on Tuesday, and that should be a good one.
Should be interesting. I do think the winner of that game will definitely be favored the rest of the way, probably to get to the championship and to cut down the nets. Lapel really looks like they're poised for a matchup with Frankton in the championship there on Saturday night next week, and I do think Lapel is favored here to win this sectional. And Lania Wills is just a generational talent, Greg. She's going to Butler. She's got a Division I body. She is a Division I player that's playing 2A basketball right now. And for 4 years, she has just dominated this area. And you can see why she is going to go down as perhaps the greatest Madison County girls basketball player of all time.
Grant Shouse of the Action Sports Network, thank you so much for your time. We will be talking plenty of girls and, of course, boys basketball going forward, as well as Grant on the IU report. He and Jake Dunn of the Purdue report previewed the IU Purdue game coming up on Tuesday, so check that out as well. Thanks so much, Grant.
Thanks for having me, Greg. I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm your friend.
Yeah, my best friend. Please check out Grant and Jake Dunn in their IU Purdue preview out a little later Monday. Apparently, both Colts coordinators, Jim Bob Cooter and Lou Anarumo, are interviewing for coordinator jobs with other teams. Anarumo with the Bills, Cooter with the Eagles. And looking ahead to Monday, very slow day on Monday. The Pacers are in Atlanta against the 22-25 Hawks. The game is now at 1:30 because of the weather. Freezing rain is expected in Atlanta later this evening. A lot of people staying home because of the weather. Good chance to see the surging Pacers play. Also, Atlanta has some players worthy of keeping an eye on as well, in particular Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. Love both of their games. The Pacers are 11-35, coming off a win at Oklahoma City, and in the process of ruining their draft hopes. Just kidding. Love seeing the guys who are going to be part of next year's championship team contributing to some success this year. The return of Benedict Mathurin could be imminent. Monday's game seemed to be the original target date that they set for his return, but I'm also certain they're going to wait till he's completely 100%. In totally unrelated news, the NBA trade deadline is 11 days away. A little earlier Monday, I released the Pacers report with Mike Rich. It was a good one. Please go check that out. Also, our IU report is on Tuesday, Purdue report Wednesday, IndyCar report is on Thursday, the Colts report is on Friday, and the FIFA report is every Sunday. Had one just a couple of days ago. Please go check that out. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow. If you want to be my friend, we are looking for people to talk Colts and Pacers in particular. And what I'm really looking for right now is someone who's interested in talking about the Winter Olympics and about the upcoming World Cup here in the United States. If you're interested in talking Colts, Pacers, World Cup, or Olympics, please text me. Do not call. Text, and we'll set up a phone call. 502-533-3161. I'm always looking for new friends. Thanks so much for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a sports fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here, talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.